Hello.
Hi, Frank. It's Lydia. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine. My computer's acting up a little bit, so all I've got now is just voice. So,
Okay.
but you've got the meeting, so you should have access to everything.
Yeah, and for most of the part, I'll be just sharing my screen too. So
Yeah,
it'll
that's what I
it'll be
figured.
good.
There you go. Now I can exactly see. Hey, Michael.
Hey, Frank.
I see. No, I finally got a picture now. Oh, last year it was just your name, so
Blank screen.
blank screen. So anyway, you been doing okay?
Been doing well.
Good, good, good.
Yes, indeed. So I see Lydia's blank screen. Is she on?
Yeah, I'm on.
Do I have a speaking role tonight?
Only if you want to comment on something or do an introduction or do the closeout if you want to facilitate any questions or anything like that. Now, is anyone going to talk about kind of like the P's and Q's at the beginning, like to mute your mic and
you can do
and
that,
that sort of
Lydia, if you
thing?
want, or
Okay.
Yeah, I'd not having practiced anything.
yeah,
That's good.
you know what you want to do, Lydia. So, and
Okay. I'll wing it.
I think Harold said he was going to do the opening.
He'll do the intro
Mhm.
unless he punts.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Well, I'll go to black screen also then. So, Lydia, do you have members of your team speaking also?
No, Sherry couldn't make it, and then there were other people who wanted to be part of the Facebook but didn't want to necessarily present. So what I'm doing is at the first half is kind of some general stuff, but the second half is specific examples of different clubs that are set up, kind of with the district. So if there's any club members that are part of those clubs that want to chime in, then I'll let them kind of jump in if they want to.
Okay. Were you ever able to have that kickoff meeting with your committee?
We're going to do it after this district meeting.
After this meeting?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, you may want to
Yeah,
invite.
I was out of town in Toledo Bend for one weekend, and then had my grandmother had some health issues, another one, so it just didn't line up to have that on a weekend yet.
Okay. Well, you may want to invite Harold for that kickoff meeting.
Okay, sure will. I'll need to get, or I can get with Frank on how to set that up through Zoom. So I'll try to touch base and get that.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll help you with that.
Okay. Sorry, Scott walked in. Hey, Scott.
Hey, Scott.
Your assistant.
It's hot. My computer's hot. That's right. You're going bye-bye? Uh-huh. You can go sing. You gonna go watch Bubble Guppies? Okay. I'm back.
Perfect. Okay, so you're ready to rock and roll.
Mhm.
Excellent. Okay.
Here, I'm gonna practice sharing my screen real quick. Make sure.
Hey, Frank, I'm here.
Hey, Ken.
You can.
It's hot. That's right. He keeps saying that my computer is hot. What are the words he knows? Let's see.
Yeah, man.
Mm-hmm.
Shoulder, that one, 47, right?
47 people.
Okay, can you see that? Is
I
it
can.
taking up the full window?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yep. Looks good.
very good. Good presentation too. Also, Mike and Lydia, we'll have that on the website. I'll get with Vic and we'll set a place where we can put them starting for all three of them.
Does anyone want to be on video, or do you want me to just leave it on the screen share?
I would just leave it on screen share myself.
Okay.
What do you think, Mike?
I agree. Are we starting out with the prayer pledge 4-way test or not?
I don't think we programmed it on this one, and I know for the foundation, we're not going to do that either. We're just
Okay.
going to jump right into it.
Yes, it's kind of uncomfortable in this format, so I'd say let's just start rolling.
Okay.
Let Harold roll with it. Oh, I see the governor has joined us.
No, you're using the computer.
Can y'all hear me?
We can hear you.
Hello? I'm on. Oh, God, I just got to
Hey
this
girls, how are
place
you?
where I'm staying tonight. I'm fine, Lydia. How are you? No picture?
Doing well. No.
Wow.
Well, I'm gonna probably be walking around my house monitoring the two boys while I'm doing it for part of the time.
Okay. No, not a problem.
Right now I'm pulling out bribery toys.
So how old are they? 1 and 3 or 0 and 3?
Like 4 months and 21 months. So one of them is almost 2.
Oh, how wonderful.
So he's really sweet and fun, but he's also a handful. So the other one will be content. He's fed and happy.
Oh, I'm sorry. I missed you the other night at the meeting. It was a nice meeting at their club.
Yeah, Scott was running a fever and then ended up throwing up the next day. So
Oh,
that's my mom life.
well, they all said nice things about you, so don't worry about it. Okay, so we have 12 people on, 16 people on. Good.
Evening, Governor.
Good evening, Governor. How are you?
Things are going pretty good in the big city of West.
Trying to get the sound.
I'm in the big city of St. Francisville tonight. Frank or Mike, are we going to start at 6:30? Or are we going to?
Yes.
Okay.
And we will, Lydia's just going to leave the shot that's on the screen up. And
Yeah,
you can
she
go
was
right
telling.
into your remarks, welcoming. We're not going to have a pledge or a prayer or
Okay.
that kind of thing. And Lydia will take it. You'll just hand it off to Lydia and then we'll roll.
I will. And thank you, Mike.
Oh, my pleasure.
How was your zone meeting? Good?
It was good. It was a very interesting time.
Good. I'm glad you experienced that.
Hi, everybody. I'm on the call. Can I be heard? If so, I'm going to mute my mic.
You can be
We can
heard.
hear you.
Okay. Well, I assumed everybody knew who I was. So, hi, everybody. This is Pam.
Hey, Pam.
But I'm in my pajamas.
Pam.
So, y'all, hi, everybody. But y'all not getting video. I'm in my pajamas and I'm cooking. No,
Yeah, that's the nice thing about webinars. You can be nice and comfy.
that's what I try to sell it as.
Governor, the floor is yours.
All right. Well, I'd like to welcome everyone tonight to the first of 3 webinars presented by the district. Tonight's program, part 1 of our district assembly, is a session on public relations. As most of you know, Rotary has recently spent a great deal of time and effort on our organization's identity, its public image. Public image covers things like our branding and our identity, which is captured in the People of Action campaigns. Public relations is how Rotarians take our identity and use it in outreach to help us make our community aware of the good things we do with our projects, to help our fundraisers succeed, and to show just how much friendship, fellowship, and fun we are having when we are doing all of these things. All of this will help drive our membership. Clubs who are doing good in their communities, who are having fun doing it, and who are able to communicate to their communities what is happening are the clubs who will grow membership and succeed. Lydia and her team are here tonight to let us know how to accomplish these things. Ladies and gentlemen, our Public Relations Chair, Lydia Frugier. Lydia?
All right, thank you, Harold. As we start out tonight, I just want to remind everyone we will have some time towards the end to kind of get different members' feedback or comments and questions. But until then, if you don't mind muting your microphones, that'll help not only those attending now here, but we are recording. And so those who will be, listening or watching this after the fact, that'll help the quality be better for them as well. So thank you to Governor Harold for that introduction, and we'll get started. So as far as public relations goes, I think the main purpose is to communicate the heart of what Rotary International is about, the functions on the district level, and then your own club community impact. Because we all know that Rotary does really great things, has a really great reputation. And so when people understand that, then of course they would buy in. Why wouldn't you want to be part of something that's having such a great impact in your community, in your state, and around the world? So as we get into it this evening, I just want you to kind of keep that in mind, because we'll get into a lot of kind of nuts and bolts, some that are more like operational, but at the end of it, it's about sharing the heart of your club. Okay, so each club, maybe you're on the PR committee, and maybe you're just an officer with your club or a club member, but each club should have a PR committee set up. And what that does is to help facilitate the different parts of PR that are important to getting that message out. It also kind of takes the weight off of those who may be in the other officer or leadership positions, so that they can kind of delegate different aspects of the PR role to people on that committee. So some of the things that the PR committee is responsible for, of course, if you're going to represent your club and represent Rotary, then you want to know what Rotary is about, okay? So what are the key impact areas? For example, the polio impact that we have on an international level, or what are some things that your Rotary Club does in your community? The annual theme, which you can see at the bottom left, I incorporated that, is Rotary Connects the World. So just like you can be connected through social media or other organizations, Rotary is an organization that connects people around great causes internationally. And then the history. So, when was Rotary founded? Where did it start? How has it grown? What does it look like now? And then in addition to that, and part of that you can find with Rotary International's PR resources and their media. So they have the branding site, the branding page from My Rotary, where you can kind of download different logos, look at different restrictions of how you can use those logos, kind of the details and some resources that you can use to get the word out about different Rotary programs. In addition, PR committee is responsible for helping to develop goals that align with your annual club goals. So if your goal is to grow membership by so many members over the course of a year, or to grow your fundraising dollars, how can PR play into your club achieving those goals? And then, of course, public relations, you're creating awareness of your club activities and projects, helping in recruitment and retention. And then we're going to get into public image, but part of that is reinforcing your club identity on the different platforms that you may be pushing out your Rotary image. Okay, so one of the things that I wanted to show you, if you go to myrotary.org, I may not open it up, but you can kind of see the We'll see if it works. Can y'all still see my screen? Anyone want to chime in? So I think it still says sharing, so I think it should pull up. Okay. So
Yes, it is.
go back
it is
here.
Still presenting.
Okay. So if you go to My Rotary, you go to Learning and Reference, there's a whole public relations section here, and it gives you some tips, some different ideas, and then you can see some different downloadable info sheets or graphics, things that you can use with your club. One of the things, Lead Your Club Public Relations Committee goes into a lot more detail about kind of setting those goals, and the Rotary fact sheet, and also the InPolio will give you some good statistics if you want to use that, or just to know about Rotary, how it got started, those kinds of details. Okay, let me see. I'm gonna open this back up. Okay, can you still see the PR slide? Is it back for you?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, good deal. All right, that's my test. So when we do these other links, we'll know that they work. Okay, let's talk about goal setting. So you're going to have different goals, both internally and externally, and because you're going to have things where you need to maybe spread the word to your other Rotary clubs, or maybe get more engagement from your members in your club currently, as well as growth goals. So some of the things to consider, who's your target audience and how will you reach them? So with the different PR initiatives and the different goals, whether it be fundraising, membership growth, who are you trying to reach? And I will say that you should consider who the niche of your club is. Okay, are you a lunch club? Are you an after hours club? Are you a club that meets in the morning for breakfast? That alone will kind of help you determine some of your niche. In addition, maybe your dues are on the higher end, maybe they're on the lower end. That will also impact the type of member that you'll have in your club. And so you want to also try to target those who fit kind of the demographic that would feed into your membership. How often do you want to post to your social media, publish a press release, appear on a local news channel? So if you kind of know that you have certain events or certain fundraisers throughout the year, then you already know that you're going to need these different PR pushes at those points. But you also want to make sure that you are actively promoting your club. And that way members can share that, and we'll go into a little bit more detail. But even when you don't have an event, you're still meeting with your club, most likely on a weekly basis. And maybe you even have a social or two at different points during the month, during the quarter, during the year. So it doesn't have to be one of your big events that you're posting. And so I would encourage you, especially if you aren't super active on your Facebook pages or groups, however you have them structured right now, to just start setting some goals that are a little bit beyond your norm, just to push yourself and make it more of a habit, and to help establish, so another thing is, I don't know if everyone knows, well, you probably know of the Rotarian magazine, but there's also a running blog that both avenues activities. So part of putting the tools in your members' hands to also give them what they need to be a voice for your club and be a voice for. So let's talk a little bit about public relations versus public image. So when I think public relations in terms of Rotary, I think, okay, we're out in the community, we're building goodwill and serving, right? Your relationships, and then you're helping people to know about Rotary, spreading awareness, and then helping them to have a deeper understanding of the specific ways you give back. And consider is getting them to want to join and be part of what you're doing. It's harder part, getting that engagement. We'll try to help reinforce how you can increase them. Coincide with that. So when I think image, I'm thinking this is your club brand.
Lydia.
Yes.
You are breaking up. I'm not sure if it's technology or if it's your phone, but
oh, is it better?
Yes.
Is it better now?
Yes,
Okay.
it is.
It could be that the mic was kind of away from my mouth for a little bit. Okay, so when I think image, I think more brand or reputation. It's kind of hard to think of your Rotary Club maybe as a brand because Rotary has a brand, right? We have specific guidelines, we have a logo, we have, the In Polio Now, we have these specific initiatives that feed into the Rotary brand. We have the 4-way tests, we have all these things that we've established that kind of build out the identity of Rotary. You, club, have your own brand and your own reputation. I don't know how many may have multiple Rotary clubs that meet in their city or meet locally, but I know we have quite a few in the Lake Charles area. We have the Sulphur Sunrise Club, and then we have the other Sulphur Rotary Club that meets at lunch, and then we have a Westlake Club, and then we have in Lake Charles. And those clubs cater to different people, right? Those individuals chose those clubs for a reason versus choosing another one, whether it be geographical location, whether it be time, but also part of that brand or reputation is what the club does on an annual basis or a monthly basis, quarterly basis to give back to their community. And the initiatives of that individual club resonate with your members.
I told them I was actually say sometimes it'd be like duplicate ones. You don't have nothing on there. All right, so show me who those. I'm multitask. No.
Okay, I think someone may not have their mic muted. Okay. So what's needed to build a strong public image? So this may seem to be a little bit too much common sense, but you actually need images to help reinforce your public image. It kind of follows the same way in that social media requires you to interact with your audience and to be sociable on those platforms. Building a public image requires you to have visuals that also go to reinforce your club identity and messaging. And it's a lot easier than you think. I don't know how many times, so I'm kind of involved in my employer's marketing. I'm on the marketing committee. And so many times we'll go and we'll do something, and then afterwards we're like, oh man, we didn't take a picture. And I think that probably happens a lot of times with your club. And if you think about the members of your club, it's probably not too hard to think about those who are most active on social media for you. You probably know who those are. So maybe those are individuals that you need to link in with your club. and put on your PR committee. That way they can help lead the initiative to increase the number of postings, the number of images that you have to work with. And it doesn't necessarily have to be any kind of high-level photos, right? It's everyday people doing everyday good works. And so these can be, just things that you shoot from your iPhone. It can be a selfie of your group doing a service project. Those kind of things, when you do them frequently and consistently, that's what's going to help build the reputation of your club. Because people are going to know, oh, I know what Rotary is. And they'll be like, oh, maybe I've heard about that service project. But then they're actually going to see you and see you doing those things in your community. And the reputation of your individual members will help carry over a strong reputation for your club. Okay, so this kind of goes with with the picture idea. So, years and years and years ago, you had to have a painting, right, to be able to have a visual. I'm talking about hundreds and hundreds of years ago. Now we have iPhones, so we basically have these little mini computers in our back pocket, so we can take pictures pretty easily and post them. And it's pretty neat, the access that we have to get the word out and to be able to promote Rotary at our fingertips in this day and age. So just remember, if you didn't take a picture, it basically didn't happen. Okay, and I don't remember the individual, but someone posed the question to Frank as to whether there was a photo release available. Now, I couldn't find one that was official from Rotary. Mike or Harold, if you know of anything, then we can coordinate with Frank to get that out. But I found a photo release that it looks like other Rotary clubs may be using, but I just pulled it off of Google and I have that. These releases typically are pretty general, but if you don't have something that's officially from Rotary, then it hasn't necessarily been legally blessed by RI. So I do have to kind of throw that disclaimer out. We use photo releases. Yes.
This is Mike. We are in the process of updating our photo release at the district level. And so we'll have something in our documents on the website very soon.
Okay. That's great news. Yeah, because we use photo releases at work, but I work for a financial institution. So for us, with different regulations and talking about client privacy, we're kind of required to have a photo release to post anything on our social media. Rotary isn't necessarily to the same degree. One of the things I would have you think about is if you have all of your members sign a photo release in the onboarding process, then you have that covered. But then what if you have a guest who's present, or what if you have a speaker who's coming, are you getting a release from them, yes or no? I'm not saying you necessarily have to, but you'll have to decide within your own club kind of what level you want to take that to. One thing that is very common at different events and different events I've been part of is they'll often put a notice of filming and photography, and you can kind of pull that and kind of look at some examples if you really do want to take it to the next level. But I've seen this at different events where they want to make sure they notify you that they could be taking photos or recording a meeting for some reason, recording the event, or offering a video recording as well.
Yeah, the big no-no is to publish pictures of minors without having a parental consent. You need a photo release for that. Yeah,
and many releases that I see have a section that's separate for the minors, where you actually have the parental guardian consent with their name. Sometimes it's on the same form as the guardian, sometimes it's not. So I knew Mike and Frank, whenever that's available, that you'll be able to push that out to the district. But at your different fundraising events, you might consider posting some kind of notice, since you'll be posting those things to your page. Okay, so when it comes to PR and your public image, of course, press releases are still great to get out in, the black and white print. Oftentimes, different news platforms are also passing their content off to their own Facebook pages, the different, I know locally, like KPLC or Fox, the Fox Morning Show, if you do a segment with them, then they post that to their social media so that you can share it. But most of the time, the type of content you're going to be developing, I say developing, it's not really that hard, but putting out there is going to fall along these different lines. Okay, so you can, for your club, promote members, promote sponsorships, so what you're using your fundraising dollars for in the community, your service projects, your guest speakers, whether you're promoting upcoming or promoting them being at your club that meeting, just pictures from your regular meeting. Because at the end of the day, having fun and doing good deeds, that's what it's all about. And your other events, whether you have Rotarians together, you bought a table maybe at an event to support something, or it's actually a Rotary specific event. Okay, so once your club has pushed out some content for your members to engage in, these are different ways that you can encourage the members of your club to support you. So liking any posts that you do something in the community with other Rotarians, tag your club. Check in, so I'll show you some specific pages in a minute, and you'll see that oftentimes those with a higher number of likes also have a higher number of check-ins. So they basically say, I'm here at blank Rotary Club. Kind of the review system, you can do that also for pages that are either nonprofit, so you can recommend Rotary, your Rotary Club. Now, I know there's this idea that the millennials are the ones that have social media down, but it's not true. And I'll tell you, and you'll know this if you're on Facebook, everyone has, or at least my age, has that grandma that comments on everybody's picture, that likes everything, and anything they see that they think is relevant to anyone, they will share it and tag that person. So I know that oftentimes those who may not fall in the millennial generation may not be seen as being as swift with social media, but it's fake news because social media knows no age, and anyone and everyone can be on it and be active. Okay, so now I'm going to get into some specific examples of different clubs. But you are welcome to unmute your mic.
You're breaking up again, Lydia.
Okay. Come in and out.
Got you. You're good. No, we've lost you.
Oh, is it better?
That's better.
Hello? Okay. Okay, so the first one, and we're going to publish this PDF, so these different links will be active, so you can actually click them.
We've lost you again.
Oh. Is it better? Is it better now? I just took it off the headphones. Okay.
Yes.
I could have a wire shorting out. Okay, so as I go through, let me know if your club is being featured, if you want to chime in. These Facebook links are live, so whenever they send the PDF out or it's published to the website, you can actually go back and click here, and you'll be able to go to these specific pages on Facebook. Okay, so this one is Houma Rotary Club, which Sherry Roach is a member of, and one of the initiatives they have is BayouGives.org. So you can see they did a picture here. They have a Houma Rotary hashtag, and they also use the hashtag People of Action. They created a cover photo that matches their initiative, and then they had more postings where they kind of carried through the time that they were participating. Okay. This is the Rotary Club of Baton Rouge. Whenever you go and look at their page, there's a few things I want to point out to you. I tried to highlight them. You may not be able to see them very well, but I'll go through and walk you through what I've highlighted. So at the cover photo, you'll notice that it says since 1918. So what's a better reinforcement of reputation than saying, hey, we have been around for 100 years, right? In addition to the reputation of Rotary and how long the organization has been in place, you have the Rotary Club of Baton Rouge promoting the longevity of their club. So you can also see, if you look under the community, just a little bit lower from that, the number of people that like their page, which is thousands. And then they don't have quite as many check-ins as some of the other clubs I'm going to show you, but they do have people who are checking in and saying, hey, I'm here at the Rotary Club of Baton Rouge or an event. Off to the side, you'll see I kind of highlighted the little message. If you look right above District 6200 training, that far little right corner, that's a message box. So you could chat with the Rotary Club of Baton Rouge or send them a message through that form. Okay, to the far left of the screen, you'll see that they promoted a joint sponsorship that they did with Capital One, and it's for the Arts Council of Greater Baton Rouge. So one of the ways to further establish the reputation of your club and reinforce your Rotary Club as a valid organization, as something that is reputable to attend, to give your money to, is to link up and kind of cross-promote with other organizations in your community. So I'm sure the Arts Council of Greater Baton Rouge has some great connections and has a great reputation of their own. So they're basically validating by doing a sponsorship with them and being on their Facebook page. Okay, and then you can see that they also did a promotion of one of their new members. So they have a photo there promoting not only the member, but the sponsoring member for that club. Okay, here we are with the Greater Lake Charles Club. So on the left, we have Mr. John Fontenot, and so this is the visit from when Harold went to visit their club. So you can see it says Greater Lake Charles Club, and then it has some of the folks who were there who were tagged because it says it's with so-and-so, so-and-so, and so-and-so. You can see that they checked in, or some of the members did check in during the governor's visit. You may not be able to see that, but I saw that earlier. Then you can see where in the top of their Facebook page for their cover photo, they have kind of a group shot of the Rotary Club. You can see the size of it, so people probably will find someone that they know. And then this club specifically has over 1,400 check-ins. So that has done a lot to promote their different events. Nope, sorry. Okay, cut. Okay, so the next one we have is Rotary of Grand Isle. And one of the reasons I like this is because I went on their page and I saw quite a bit of food. And I'm not saying that in a negative way, right? But most of us are probably from the Southwest to Central to a little bit further Louisiana. And what is it known for but our great cooking? So you can see that they were part of, it looked like a food bank, and then they were promoting a bake sale, and then they also promoted an event, a softball tournament, where they were giving out chili and nachos. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, so then we have the next one that I was looking at is the Rotary Club of Lafayette North. And one of the things that you can see is that they posted their socials when they went to Agave, which is one of the best kind of, I guess, Tex-Mex Mexican places in Lafayette. They promoted that they were going to have the monthly mixer with their Facebook page. They created an event, and then some other things that they had posted was an attendance at an event, Love of People Incorporated, and then also they promoted the upcoming End Polio Now World Polio Day in October. Okay, and then this next one is the newest club to Rotary, the DeQuincy Club. Okay, sorry, I'm back. The next one is the DeQuincy Rotary Club. So this is one of the newest clubs in the district. And they've gotten a great start in promoting their club. So one, you can see that it costs $0 to be a decent human being. It's just some general kind of promoting of Rotary. Just kind of, hey, here's the thing, right? It goes along with the Rotary values, and it's kind of more filler content. And the next one you can see is a promotion of a meeting that's being held. And so it has the Rotary vision statement, and then they promote the location and the time that they're going to meet. And up towards the middle, you can see Mike and some of their club officers. And it says Mike Hayes gave a presentation to our club on Rotary's avenues of service. And then it continues into what those are. So that's promoting the values of Rotary. To the far right, you can see their participation in a school supply drive. And then finally, towards the bottom, you can see the press release in the DeQuincy News about the chartering of their club. So that's a great kind of well-rounded snapshot of different types of content that you can do with Rotary. Okay, and that is the last club example I have, but I wanted to open it up to if anyone had any types of questions of how to go about doing something or any tips. And if it's more of a Rotary specific question, if I can't answer, then Mike or Frank may be able to chime in. If not, it'll be something we can research and then get back to you.
Before you open it up, Lydia, I would like for you to briefly tell the group assembled about how you used your fundraiser to attract new members and the social media aspects of that.
Oh yeah, so the club I'm a part of is the Happy Hour Rotary Club, and what's turned into kind of an every other year fundraiser for us is a pub crawl. So we did this around St. Patrick's Day, and then we actually had some other local folks that thought it was so fun that they started their own. So they always say that, you know, that's the best form of flattery. So apparently we started something that was really great. But we would have folks who came and participated or who messaged us afterwards, or maybe had a friend, you know, who was involved, and they're like, hey, this is a Rotary Club? And we're like, yeah. They're like, oh, well, I want to be part of it. So it was something that that they could participate in. I'm not dissing, you know, auctions or things like that. It just happens to cater to the niche of our club. That was a fundraiser that kind of fit our happy hour branding, and that also fell in line with folks who, like most of our members, meeting after hours just happens to be a better time for them. So we were able to say, yeah, you know, we meet, you know, on Tuesdays, this is where we meet, what time. And then we've had quite a few who came on board, you know, because of their interest. And they're like, hey, okay, their fundraiser is a pub crawl. You know, they're doing good things. I can get behind that. Does that answer your question, Mike?
Yes. I think
okay.
I think the important part of that is that you had a really interesting fundraiser. You had a lot of fun with it. It was for a really good cause, and people saw that they were able to do good in their community, have fun doing it with a good group of people, and you were able to communicate that. By communicating that, you were able to show people that, you know, Rotary can be fun, and our club is an inviting place, and you were able to attract quite a few people to come check your club out, which is really a huge win if you're able to use social media to do that.
Yeah, and I know this isn't necessarily true of everyone, but before I got plugged in to Rotary and actually saw the club on Facebook, and that's how I got involved, the extent of my Rotary experience was maybe going to a few lunches to be recognized for something during high school. You know, that was it. And so I didn't necessarily feel connected with all people on Facebook who were my same age, who were part of the club. And it's not saying I wouldn't have joined, you know, if I saw people, you know, who didn't necessarily fit my same different demographic, but that basically made me feel, I guess it made me more open to going, because I was like, oh, I might have more in common, you know, with this Rotary Club. I thought, you know, I'll just go kind of check it out, and then I ended up joining. So that's part of putting out your your image, kind of show everyone who's a member of your club, because that will help others maybe find some commonality there, to where they feel like, hey, if I go, I'll probably feel welcomed. Does anyone have any PR questions, or Mike, did you have anything else you'd want to cover?
Well, while we're giving people the opportunity to come up with questions, I would ask Frank and Frank if he would like to talk a little bit about next week's seminar.
Sure. Can you hear me, Mike?
Yes.
Okay. Next week, we'll start again at the same time, 6:30, go to 7:30, and we're going to be talking about the foundation. And we're going to quickly touch on the ways that you can make the Rotary Foundation your charity or one of your charities of choice. And then we're going to talk about how the clubs in the district benefit from that selection that you've made as a charity of choice. And we're going to briefly talk about the district grants that were recently awarded to the clubs, both for work in the district, and one was an international outreach project that was done. So we're going to touch on those. Then Donna Landry, who is the chair of the scholarship, is going to talk about the 2 global scholarship programs, or the scholarships that we have available, and go over the qualifications and talk about how we're going to get applicants, because we have 2 $35,000 scholarships to send some students overseas. And so we need to go ahead and fill those. Donna has been able to reach out, and we have one of our returning global scholars just back from Africa, who's going to kind of reflect upon her 1 year of study and what this scholarship meant to her and her family and for her future. Then we'll briefly talk on some global grants that the district is involved in, and then we'll open it up to any questions that anyone may have. We're going to try to deal basically throughout the whole 1 hour on projects that the clubs are involved with, and the difference that the foundation can make for the clubs and for the district, rather than dealing with the ways that you need to give and that kind of stuff.
Okay. Lydia, I got a note from Pam asking if you could tell about evaluating the insights feature. How, so that so that you can see what's engaging the audience. Are you familiar?
Yes. If you have, and I would recommend that you do this, if you have your Rotary set up as a page, there were a few, one that I showed you that was a public group, and one that was like an individual that you could friend. But if you have it set up as an actual page, then you can see along the bottom of your post, if you were an admin, editor, kind of one of those roles for that page, the number of people that saw it. You can also, in another section of Facebook, see the insights, where you can literally see a graph from day to day, week to week, month to month, that looks at the trends and the engagement. So in comments and likes, basically in the interactions that you're getting on those posts in Facebook. And one of the features Facebook has that really isn't a bad thing to utilize is the boosting or sponsoring of a post. So you can throw some dollars at different posts, and I would say for your fundraisers, you would probably get that money back if you're spending it wisely. But you can target your general kind of location to keep it local. You could target different age demographics if you wanted to. There's specific things you can go into. But one of the things we did to promote our pub crawl, and that we'll keep doing, is we have a budget in our pub crawl budget that's allocated towards advertising, and the bulk of that is social media. So we'll boost our event, or we'll boost different posts to sell tickets. Now, I know for other clubs, if you have, an option, or if you're doing some kind of food sale, that might look a little different for you. The dollar ratio might be a little bit different, but it can be worth it if you need to get a little bit more visibility than what Facebook would naturally do just by who's liking your post or who likes your page. And you can see it broken down by who organically, kind of naturally happened upon your post, and then who happened upon it because it was boosting in those same two areas that I mentioned.
We have time for another question. Mike?
So, a couple of things I would ask of you if you're listening to the call. One is, if you're listening with a large group or a group of people, and the individuals would like to answer the questionnaire that we will send out to follow this up, please let Frank know who was on the line with you so that we can send them what service do we use, Frank, for the questionnaire?
SurveyMonkey.
SurveyMonkey. So we'll be doing a SurveyMonkey to try to improve this. The second point that I'd like to make is I'd like to thank Lydia for taking the job of PR chair. She's only been in the position for 2 or 3 weeks now, so I think she did a pretty good job on very short notice. But unlike previous years, she has a team, and the team is pretty well distributed across the district. And so if there are things that you believe the district PR team can help you do, please contact Frank or Lydia, and we'll see about getting somebody on it, because she has a group of volunteers that are ready to leap into action. So rather than PR being a trailing thing like it has been across the district in the past, I think we're going to be a lot more proactive going forward. Would you agree with that, Lydia?
Yeah, so one of the things I want to do is actually put together kind of like a how-to guide for the district with tips on being engaged through your social media, because I think that's going to be kind of the next wave. It already is here, but I think even more so clubs that aren't doing it will need to do that just to get the word out, about all the great things that they're doing. And I know some of that is newer than for others, and so I want to make it kind of as easy as possible for everyone. And then I'm always just a phone call or an email away if you specifically have questions. Hey, how do I do this within my Facebook page or something like that? Feel free to email me. And I know I told Frank he could post my contact information for folks to have, or you can also find it in DACDB as well, because I'll be happy to answer any level of questions that you need.
Well, I think where you could help a lot of clubs is, if a club is about to do a fundraiser or have a really great project, how can I boost this to help my membership? How can I boost this to help my project be more successful? Now the district has a resource in you and in your team that people can visit with to get some ideas and some guidance, and so I hope people take advantage of the resource that Governor Harold has put in place here, because I think we have a lot of opportunity and a lot of potential for growth if we're able to use the PR resource in support of everything else that we're doing. So Lydia, is there anything else you'd like to say?
So the only thing I want to add is we are in the works of developing a District 6200 page. We currently do have a group set up, but this will also help with that outside engagement and engaging folks who may not necessarily be in Rotary. And hopefully we'll be able to promote all the great things that the clubs are doing within the district. So be watching for an email to roll out with details of where you can go to find that page and like it and share and invite your members to do the same. And then if your clubs are doing anything that you would like promoted on that page, you'll have some contact information so that you can send that to us so that we can promote the clubs that make up our great Rotary District.
Okay.
Hello, can anyone hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I had a question. Facebook it's been very, very popular the last 7, 8, 9 years, and I know our club has used it quite successfully. I want to know if there are any clubs known that are successfully using other forms of social media, such as Twitter or LinkedIn and others, to successfully promote their club.
So I know I follow some on my page, and our Rotary Club isn't as active as on posting to Instagram, but that is the other platform that I think you would get the most engagement from, Facebook and Instagram. Now, Instagram does basically force you to taking pictures because everything has to have a visual, but that would be the platform I would look to do. And like I said, with social media actually being social, Instagram, it's easier for your club to interact with other clubs, your members, businesses or organizations in your community as your actual club, more so than Facebook. And that may be something to kind of incorporate into the guide, but that's what I would encourage you to do. Also, whenever you boost on Instagram or Facebook, it basically kind of boosts to both platforms because it's the same ownership.
Yeah, I would say that Facebook is more content driven, where Instagram is more image driven. So if you can tell a story with images, Instagram may be quite useful. Twitter, not so much. Unless you're the president.
Now on LinkedIn, I've always found that, of course, to be a more professional, centered around maybe your work life. But if you are an officer of your Rotary Club, you should definitely include that in your LinkedIn bio. So if someone is kind of reading your bio, they can see that you're part of XYZ Rotary Club. In addition to maybe sharing a picture, or two of yourself or your club, every once in a while. I wouldn't necessarily say that would be a heavy platform to be on for your club, but would definitely be good for your members to give a shout out on from time to time.
Okay, any last questions? Okay, Frank, anything else that you'd like to add?
No, I just think if anyone does have any questions that they think about today or during the week, just email myself or Lydia, and we'll get back to you. There will be a survey in the next couple of days sent out to you. Just please give us your response and your feedback, because we're always looking at ways to improve things.
All right. Well, with that, thank you all for participating, and look to see you next week when we talk about the foundation. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Lydia.
All right. Bye-bye.
Lydia.
Did Frank, did,
I think somebody was trying to say something.
oh,
Frank was recording. How do you get to the recording?
yeah, I think they're done, Frank.
Okay.
We can disconnect.
All righty. We're ending the meeting now.
What Frank might do is tell everybody how to get to
Thank
the
you.
recording.